All right, good morning, Cyber Traders. Welcome on back here this Thursday, October 13th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our morning meeting. Great to see all of us inside the live trading room. Phil, Grant, Leda, Mark, Andre, and all of us there live. And let me get that back up for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. Hola, not the best market conditions here heading into the open, folks. We're going to talk all about that here coming up here in just a moment. But hey, before the CPI report came out, let's talk about this lace stock, at least for right now, because even if the markets continue to stagnate, drop off further heading into the open or after, that doesn't mean that every stock's going to look to drop off. So with that, Lace ended up continuing its move, or actually I should rather say pushed back up from the close yesterday, ended up making a nice push above the highs that we had back from Tuesday of this week. And with that, ended up making a huge pop. So ended up topping off early in pre-market here, right off of 438. Had pulled back down right around the VWAP. It was kind of struggling around there at first, and now roughly off of $4 here. So let me bring up level 4. Let me bring up Bookmap here, at least on this to start. Then we're going to talk all about the S&P, all about the CPI report that just came out here at 8:30. So the lace trade though for right now, and you have an iceberg not just at $4, but at 395, about 10,000 shares currently on the bid sitting there. So that could be a complimentary level going into the open, especially to a level like $4, like I'd said. Next support below there, I mean, as far as icebergs go, roughly off of 350, like 351, maybe that is, yeah, like 351 for about like 12K. That's pretty far away. So should it really smash below 395, be on the lookout. I mean, maybe this little top here, maybe, prior resistance could potentially be support roughly off of like 382-ish, but there's nothing there on the bid to exactly justify that. Right now, as I'm talking, look what just popped up. Pretty interesting to see here, at least about 18,000+ shares currently on the bid right off the 4 level. So again, like we were just saying, 4 normally you'd anticipate an iceberg to show up at, and really after the market opened, I wasn't planning for that right now, so we'll take it. So 395 and 4 here on the lace trade as support. We're going to put this on our list either way. I mean, obviously the markets took a huge hit just a moment ago, folks, coming off the CPI report, the inflation data that came out. Let me do a little bit of this. I'm going to move around for right now. I'm going to give me a quick second here, folks. We're going to flip the SPY to a 1-minute chart, and I got to get that pre-market data enabled again. But as you could see, huge drop on the SPY, the S&P, all major indices at 8:30. So I'm going to read the headline out for you from 8:30. The CPI report month over month for September is 0.6%. The estimate was 0.5%. With that, the initial jobless claims report also came out. It was 228,000 versus 225,000 as the estimate. And the prior, if not month over month, perhaps year over year, 219,000. So initial jobless claims definitely increasing and higher than the estimates. And there's a couple of other headlines out there too, but obviously a big drop-off, big bad reaction across the markets early. Now, with this, though, you'd anticipate for everything to really continue afterwards, maybe later into the morning or early afternoon, get a small dead cat bounce. If we get that sooner than later, I'm not trying to be perfect with that assumption, but I'm definitely more pessimistic about the open. I'm sure a lot of us here are too. So, I'm not really looking for a pop right away. But it is to say, though, that, hey, if the markets continue or if the markets fail to continue dropping, perhaps we could get that 10:15, 10:30 Eastern dead cat bounce reversal time, perhaps. But with that, though, I want to jump back to this to the S&P. Not just the SPY, but the S&P historical charts, because I thought this was pretty interesting. Folks, for all of us on inside the live trading room, at least, keep in mind, Fausto had mentioned this very briefly yesterday, just to give you a lot more data about it. We're going to be launching our swing trading program, our swing trading course coming up in just about 8 days from now on October 21st, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to make sure that the links are sent out just over the next few days, next week with that. If you have any interest in our swing trading course or program, just make sure that you talk to your education advisor. Live classes begin in 8 days on October 21st. We're going to do them on Fridays. So the 21st And then actually the 28th is the second class that we'll be conducting week over week there. So I really look forward to teaching it with you folks. But, part of that is going over historical charting and going over really just, indicators and basic charting that you could anticipate to act as a potential bounce level or support level. So give me a quick moment. I actually have to probably go back even further. I just want to make sure. Let's go back like 75 years. So we ended up seeing, over time since 85, just a real nice squeeze up over time. It did technically break lower, but over time held back well and then squeezed back up, essentially a double bottom of sorts, right? But with that, though, hey, as far as seeing where we could find big support coming up on the SPY, me personally, I don't use indicators as often with my day trading, but when it comes to swing trading and having the time to prep and study and do research, you have a lot more time to do that when it comes to swing trading. So I'm going to toss up a couple of different fibs here just really briefly, just to show historically, though, back from 2009, the bottom of 2009 there, financial crisis, 2008, 2009. So you could see, at least for right now, the S&P is well below the 23.6% retracement here at this point. It wouldn't shock me to go as low or close to the 38.2, 3,200 just about. I was going to say the SPY just about 320 that would be. But, that's one to watch if I want to kind of move this up even a bit further, going back to the pandemic lows all the way up. Well, for right now, there is a level to watch here. It's not like there's just no room until that 3,200, but it is to say, like, you're off the pandemic lows to the very high here, roughly speaking, right around 34.83, 34.85. I was looking this up earlier on the SPY, so I'll show that to you folks right now. The SPY is right around like 348, 349. That would essentially equate to. So I would assume for right now that to be a bit of a technical support. Now, does that mean that it's going to hold there perfectly? No, not at all. But as far as a day trade, as far as a potential intraday trade and a bounce that we could look to make money on throughout the course of this morning heading into the early afternoon, why not think that? So that's roughly off of 348 here on the SPY, 348, 349. Here, let me just jump back to my 1 minute here because it erases the pre-market data when I jump around to the indices. So you could see right here, it's essentially there now, right? Dropped all the way down to 350, broke below there. It's gotten really close, if not a direct bounce so far. Pretty interesting, huh? So that's what I'm keeping my eye on when it comes to the major indices, that being at least the S&P and the SPY, the S&P ETF. So that's what we're going to be following inside our live trading room. All right. So, hey, normally I like to start these meetings off by going over the stocks we traded from yesterday, but obviously we were anticipating the CPI to come out from early this week. PPI came out yesterday. Markets didn't really do a whole lot from that point. I think, they were really hesitating and waiting to see what happens heading into 8:30 this morning. So with that, we're going to not really tend to find a whole lot on the gainer side here, probably just littered with ETFs, right? Like SOX, SQQQ, the one that we, if anything, follow inside the live trading room because it does have good liquidity overall and well within our price range for right now, but the UVXY trade. So UVXY definitely will put on our watch list here alongside the LACE trade to begin. Just remember, though, these are all ETFs. Unless if you have Bookmap level 4, I would not suggest for you to be following an ETF here this morning. You're going to have a lot easier of a time following an equity. Even if you can't short, I know that there's a few of us in IRA accounts or just straight up cash accounts, and you can't look to short a stock here this morning. That's all right. That's totally okay, folks. Not only is it possible that the markets could dead cat bounce slightly later on today off that fib level, but again, not every stock is going to tank with the market. Not every stock is going to go, with the grain. You'll have a couple stocks that go against, like the LACE trade, maybe a couple of others should we see them. I saw one earlier, but unfortunately, it ended up tanking. It was the APDN stock from yesterday. Perhaps we'll talk about that one in just a moment. Meta Materials, MMAT, is still up like 6+%. It's just really flat here in pre, so not a whole lot happening on that right now. And as assumed, not a whole lot left on the gainer side. We're below 5%. So, let's hop over to the losers list right now. We'll go through some side list stocks like the, cruise lines, airlines, casino stocks here at the tail end. got this one stock, RLMD, down, like it was down like 85% by the time I had logged into the trading room early. So for any stock that's down that much, I'm not looking to short it right out the gate. If anything, I'm looking to try and look for that infamous dead cat bounce. So this actually, I want to show just on a 15-second chart. This was cool. I don't use a 15-second chart when I trade, folks. Just want to point that out. I'm only doing this for educational purposes. But earlier today, frog in my throat again. Earlier today, I started the trading room off with that. Earlier today, we ended up seeing the RLMD trade. It broke under 5. Look how cool this is. Broke under 5, held under 5. As soon as it popped over 5, it ran. So that's where I talk about as far as anticipating support. You really, truly want to see that support level get broken through first, going down, because if it breaks through it very shortly after going up, you're going with the momentum. So at that point, led to a really nice dead cat bounce early for this RLMD. It's still hanging in there too, looking pretty strong right now, coming off 9 o'clock here, making a move up to 7. So yeah, I mean, hey, for right now, for as much down as this thing is, let me just check the news on this. Not that it really matters at all. I mean, it truly doesn't. It's down enough, trading enough volume. So I'm just curious. That's all. RLMD shares trading lower after the company announced its Reliance 3 study did not achieve its primary endpoint. So I don't know if it was like phase 1, phase 2. Oh, shoot. Oh, actually, I do see it. Pardon me there. Phase 3. There you go. So that's even worse. They were right at the goal line, basically, and on phase 3, they ended up failing to meet primary endpoints. So a huge drop, probably a huge disappointment from investors as well. But with that, though, I mean, it's possible that this can make a small dead cat bounce again after the open, but we know what's going to happen to a stock like this afterwards. When the volume dies off here, like when the volume bars begin to get smaller and smaller, this thing is going to tank. So you don't want to be on the receiving end of that ticket. So we're going to put this on our list. Hopefully it moves up more. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, so another ETF here, perhaps, but you know what? We'll follow this one, given how volatile and how weak the sector's really been of late, but more volatile, if anything. But SOXL, semiconductor, the chip sector, so stocks like Nvidia, AMD, Micron, Intel, all of those trades are going to look to kind of be within the sector. So SOXL has been taking a huge hit of late, more than anything with U.S.-China regulations, with the super computer chips and all of that. With saying that, SOXL dropping down big here heading into the open. I don't know why I have a damn frog in my throat here. But AMD dropping off just as nicely. We'll put that on our watch list as well for Felix and Alex and a couple of us here, perhaps otherwise inside our trading room that follow NVIDIA. Obviously, it's down like near 5%, so it's hard to not put this on our main watch list here, right? So like everything chip related, SOXL, AMD, NVIDIA, at least those in particular, I'm sure that if you do well on Micron or Intel, then you'll be more inclined to follow those as well. All right, let's see what else we got here, folks. Well, hey, with the market taking a huge hit, no surprise. Bitcoin taking a huge drop off here too. Last I ended up checking, Bitcoin was at 18.3 right now, and with the way the market's looking, it's like really breaking lower. Wouldn't shock me to see Bitcoin begin to get weaker compared to the major indices here. They're very correlated, but not a direct 100%, similarity. Sometimes the S&P will be stronger versus Bitcoin or crypto, and then sometimes crypto or Bitcoin will have its, comeback or strength versus the major markets. I'm led to believe here, unless we see a giant slingshot otherwise altogether, which I'm doubting, but I'm led to believe that we're going to begin to see a lot of weakness in Bitcoin against the major indices here. So even if the markets stagnate for a little bit longer, I think that we're going to get more of a drop on Bitcoin. So be careful about that. With that in mind, Coinbase down big. It's down over 9%, looking great as a short. So we're going to put this on our main watch list right now. Let's see here, folks. See what else we got. Affirm down big. That's a stock we're pretty familiar with. Down over 8% on the way down to 18. Looks like it's getting pretty close towards yearly lows too. Slowly but surely. Perhaps all-time lows you could say on top. So there we go. AFRM. probably find a lot more folks on this losers list. So if there's anything else that's looking really good, down or perhaps even up, if there's anything making a big pop right now, let me know. I'll check Benzinga Pro here before we finish up. Michael asking, is there a charge for the classes for platinum and diamond students? I believe it will come with your course package, but just otherwise, just for any one of us here, if you're interested in the swing trading course, please just do yourself a favor. Just email your education advisor, at least, if not call them. Let's see. Ron saying DWAC still up $1. I forgot about that. That's right. With everything going on with the CPI report. DWAC was up early this morning, but chart's a little spotty here right now. I mean, hey, it's up, right? 7+%. It's trading 271,000 shares. It's tradable by all measures. I'll put this on our list. Hopefully, this can make a nice bounce. APDN tanked hard. It did. That was the one I was saying. Yeah, it was looking good early, but then right after the 8 o'clock move, it bounced off 3. Couldn't hold that as support. And then from that point, I don't know if a common stock offering came out on this one or direct offering of shares. Wouldn't shock me. Let's see. I don't have any news on this, so that's all right. Either way, I was just checking out of curiosity. But, it's tradable, but it's down big for a reason here today. There's a reason it tanked here early. So I'm not too interested in APDN just yet. Maybe later, if there's nothing else to trade, I'll give it a second look, but we'll pass. Delta dropping earnings today. Yeah, earnings today, but if the market's dropping off, there will probably just be as good shorts, if not better at this point. So if the market had popped and Delta had good earnings, then I'd be a lot more interested in that later. But for right now, I'll pass. All right, folks, that might just about do it, though. Hey, we're just about 12 minutes out until the market opens up. In total, we got 2, 4, 6, 7 different stocks. 2 ETFs on top. I like to be particular about that because, again, without using level 4, without using Bookmap, it's going to be really difficult to trade an ETF, folks. We do not suggest any of our students to trade an ETF unless if you have Bookmap. All right. But with that, though, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, Fausto will be back for you folks on Monday of next week. You got me for one more day and at least for this afternoon as well. Any questions that you folks have, feel more than free to send it over through email. Josh@c2trading.com is always my email address. I like to post it there at the end of these streams. If you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the blue banner below the stream right there to get yourself started. But for later, Ted, Bill, and Brian and Ron, Simon, Michael, and all of us just here live right now, I look forward to talking to you folks soon. I'm going to post the list. And for Bill, we're going to post the link for Bookmap on DWAC in just a moment. We'll do that in a bit. Rich will probably be on that just now. All right, folks, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it.